Remember how you used to laugh about the silliest things? Now it feels like you barely talk. He's on his phone, you're in your head, and somehow the connection that used to feel effortless between the two of you now feels forced or non existent, even. If that sounds familiar, you're not alone. Most couples don't just fall out of love, they slowly drift apart. But the good news, you can close that gap. Now, most women think this happens because something's wrong, something's off. They married maybe the wrong man. Usually not the case, but it does happen. Or he must be narcissistic and they're just discovering that now. Or he might be avoidant or immature or unavailable or whatever label is getting thrown around these days. Or they might think that it's normal for the honeymoon phase to disappear forever because we hear that happening, right? But what's actually happening is something every couple goes through, even the happiest ones, if they're not intentional. Hey, gorgeous, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, I'm so excited you found us and I hope you'll stick around. I'm Miri Nicole, holistic relationship coach and creator of the Happily Ever After method. On this channel, I cover all things love with some non-toxic living and healthy eating thrown in there because your relationship health is part of your overall wellness and vice versa. I know I'm ruining my algorithm with that, but whatever, it's what I'm passionate about. But in today's video, we're diving into why you and your husband start to drift apart and exactly how to reconnect before the distance becomes resentment or way worse. So what actually does drifting apart actually look like? Let's start there. It's usually not one big fight. It's subtle. You talk about the logistics of your daily life instead of your dreams. The spark gets replaced by routine. You start living parallel lives instead of a share one with a common goal or a common dream. And I've seen this pattern with so many clients, and I've lived it myself. After about 3 years together with my husband, we started feeling like we were on totally different wavelengths. By year 6, I felt completely disconnected from him. And I remember thinking, is this what's supposed to happen? Like, do long-lasting couples just keep going like this? But luckily, I didn't settle for that. I have sky-high standards for my love life. I've been dreaming about it since a little girl, and I know you do too. This drift often begins after that so-called honeymoon phase, when life starts getting more demanding for the both of you, whether it's kids, career, bills, burnout, all of the things. And here's the thing no one talks about or dares to admit. What women try to do to fix it often makes it worse. For example, forcing your husband to go to therapy before he's ready, or if he doesn't want to at all. Trying to have deep emotional talks at the wrong time or too often. Assuming he doesn't care because he's quieter about his feelings or he's being distant. These are all well-intentioned, but they address the symptoms and not the source. And I was guilty of all of those myself. Couples don't drift apart because of one big moment most of the time, right? Like betrayal or the fight or that one breaking point. It's rarely that dramatic. Usually it's something much quieter, much more insidious, a slow, subtle disconnection that just creeps in while you're busy doing life together. And because you're not addressing the feelings and actions along the way. So let's talk about 3 major reasons why this happens. But before we jump in, make sure to download my free relationship success checklist. It's a great add-on to this video because it gives you 25 concrete micro actions you can take daily to rebuild your connection and drift back towards one another. You can grab it in the description below. All right, here we go. Reason number 1, you move out of informed optimism. In the beginning of a relationship, of any relationship, right? Everything feels easy. You see the best in each other, you fill in the blanks with hope, and you think, we're different. We'll never be like those other couples. That phase is uninformed optimism. You're both showing up as your best selves, fueled by hormones and excitement and novelty. But as real life sets in, bills, routines, exhaustion, that optimism starts to fade. You begin noticing things about him and about the relationship that you missed before or you overlooked. He's maybe not as emotionally expressive as you had hoped. You're craving deeper connection and he's shutting down. You spend more time doing your own thing, and so does he. That's not love dying. That's love evolving as you go through the different stages. It's also the invitation to move from chemistry to consciousness in your relationship. And if you're not intentional in this phase, it can definitely feel like you're drifting apart. I did a whole video on the different phases that relationships go through. I'll link to it up here and in the description, and you can go watch that next. It's super interesting, and it's going to be totally eye-opening for you in terms of what's really happening with this evolution in your relationship. Reason number 2, you haven't discovered unresolvable issues, or this concept is totally new to you. But every couple, and I mean every couple, has issues that will never be fully resolved, that will never go away. And research shows that 69% of relationship conflicts are perpetual, they're perennial. That means they never fully go away. They just keep popping up again, just like dandelions in your backyard. Maybe it's how you guys handle money. Maybe it's his family. Maybe it's how you each deal with stress. The difference between happy couples and unhappy ones isn't whether or not they have unresolvable issues, it's how they relate to them. Most women fall into what I call the fixing trap. And again, that was me, I admit. You notice a problem, you want to talk it out, you want to analyze it, you want to process it, you want to make it go away forever because you're uncomfortable with it. Meanwhile, your husband's like, why are we having this conversation again? Why do we keep talking about this, right? So what happens? You feel unheard, he feels antagonized, and you both retreat to protect yourself. And that's when the emotional distance starts growing. The key here isn't fixing everything. It's learning to manage the differences with grace, with humor, with compassion. And that's what long-term love actually looks like. Like dandelions, perpetual issues aren't really that bad. In fact, dandelions are super healthy for you. Every relationship has a list of problems, right? When you're picking a partner, you're essentially picking a set of problems that you're willing to work with and love around. My husband and I, totally different parenting styles. When it comes to money, he has a, you never know when your last day on this earth will be. And I'm like, we need to save for the future kind of person, right? So we're opposites on so many levels, and we'll never fully resolve this. We just work towards aligning as much as possible and practicing acceptance. Reason number 3, you stop having fun together. This must be the most underrated reason, and I hammer this one home all the time on social media. It's also when people overcomplicate the most. So there was a debate recently in a Facebook group I'm a part of where someone posted something asking whether it's the release of oxytocin or vasopressin, I don't even know how to pronounce that keeps men bonded to you. And I was like, seriously? I mean, there's truth to both of those, of course, scientifically, okay? But what you actually need to know is that men bond over having fun together. And through research conducted by the Gottman Institute, they found that the foundation for a happy marriage is friendship. That's like your starting point when you want to work on things. But over time, if you're not intentional about it, what happens is that somewhere between laundry and school pickups and Netflix binge watching, you forget how to love together, unless you're binging Netflix together. You stop flirting, maybe. You stop trying new things. You start associating your partner with responsibility instead of joy. But connection thrives in play, in lightheartedness. And this is the basis of recreational intimacy, by the way, an important aspect to ensuring you have a holistic and fulfilling relationship. And I did a whole video on the different types of intimacy. I'll link to it here again and in the description for you. But when you laugh together, you're literally releasing oxytocin, that bonding hormone they were talking about in the Facebook group. And that's what made you fall in love in the first place. So, okay, fine, you can be all scientific and focus on oxytocin like they were doing in the Facebook group. But the point is to focus on being playful, lighthearted again, like you were in the beginning. So if it's been a while since you did something just for fun, not to solve anything, not to talk about the relationship, but to genuinely enjoy each other, that's your starting point. And it doesn't have to be complicated. Let me know in the comments, like, what's something you and your man used to love doing together that you haven't done so much lately? Like, we love going to concerts and mountain biking, and we make a point to do that as much as we can. Okay, so So we've just explored why couples drift apart and how to start closing that gap. But to truly rebuild your relationship, you need to understand why emotional connection keeps hitting a wall, why you do drift apart, and how to get him to open up again and pull back towards you without pushing him away any further. So watch this video next, where I reveal the exact process I used to shift my husband from distant and disengaged to emotionally present and affectionate again. And that video walks you through the process that took me from worrying about whether or not my relationship was over to feeling more in love than ever. And don't forget to download your free relationship success checklist. The link's below. I'll see you in the next video.